Okay, let's start. All right, can you hear me? Okay, let's start. I understand this is the first day back to campus. So welcome back to the campus and welcome to Physics 112. I hope you're as excited as we are. So my name is Hariadi. Let's see if this works. So this is Physics 112. Anyone should know that, right? Physics 112, we will cover electromagnetism and optics. Optics is basically part of electromagnetism. And if we have time, quantum mechanics and relativity. So it will be a fun class. A little bit about, well, oh, so that's not me, in case you're not sure. A little bit about myself. My name is Hariadi. You can call me Professor Hariadi. You can call me Dr. Hariadi. You can call me Rizal, as long as it's respectful. That's one thing. And second, don't extrapolate that to all of your instructors. Some of your instructors will require you to call them a doctor or professor. So some interesting facts. As far as I know, and feel free to show me the data, nobody wants to teach this class. So I don't know what you did last semester. So another fun fact is I'm a father, so you will see a lot of absurd jokes. The good thing is the class is only 15 minutes, so not many of them. So this is my wife. So I like to think that the reason why they assigned me to teach you this semester is because one, I think because mostly I'm married to a physician. So for those of you who are doing pre-meds, I know your tricks and they don't work. Okay, so that's one thing. Second, I was teacher of the year. So maybe they want me to enforce physics to you, so you, whether you like it or not. Or maybe that's the price after I get teacher of the year, teaching you, which, you know, I'm actually, this is one of my favorites classes to teach. What else? I did my undergrad in physics and biochemistry. I've seen many of you are biochemistry majors. I went to a clown school, Washington State University, 4 hours from Pullman. Best time of my life. It was very easy. I made a lot of friends, including one of them play for Arizona Cardinals, and he's now my neighbor. So we meet, we exercise. Not really exercise, but I want to exercise with him. And so from clown school, I did my PhD in what I consider as the temple of physics, which is Caltech. So that thing is doable from clown school to Caltech. And then I did 2 postdocs. Postdocs, if you're not familiar, is that if you love learning after you're done with 12 years of K-12, undergrad, PhD, you still want to learn science, you do postdoc. I did 1 postdoc at University of Michigan Medical School and Harvard Medical School. And then I moved to ASU 7 years ago. All right, so in terms of the structure of the class, it's fairly simple. We will meet every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, unless university of holiday, unless I'm out of town, unless during the exam, from 10 until 11 in this room. You are required to go to 1 recitation session, and all of you has to sign up for it, and it's part of your grade. Okay. Sorry. Any questions? Is that what you did last year with San? Did all of you didn't take physics 111? Okay. Oh, you didn't do a recitation? Oh, it's not mandatory. Ah, I see. Sorry. Oh, I have smart glass that I use to take picture of you, so be mindful. No, this class is mandatory because we try to keep the policy the same for all Physics 112. Our TA is Ross Ross Dermott. Is he here? Is he here? Anyway, can somebody open that? Maybe he's hiding inside. Ross is your TA. So if you have any procedural questions, you should email Ross. Because if you email me, what I will do is I will forward your email to Ross. We have 3 LAs, learning assistants. One is Andy. Andy, where are you? Andy is sitting right there. This is his second time doing LA with me. He's very cool guy. Second one is Jihad Mejio. Is Jihad in the room? Maybe later. The last one is, I think Pranav. Pranav, are you in the room? Okay, but if you have any questions, you should talk to them. And if you have any, let's say, preferred office hours, you should try to negotiate office hours with him. What we did last year is we tried to have 1 office hour every day. And typically, I don't remember when the homework was due, but if there is a pattern, typically I like to have 2 office hours the night before the homework due, so we can comfort you at least. Okay, any questions? Yeah. Good. Recitation, no recitation this week. There will be a recitation next week. Since we are talking about next week, there will be recitation. In terms of lab, how many of you are taking the lab portion of the class? Good, many of you. If you have any question about the lab, it's completely a separate course. If you have any question about the material, maybe you should ask your senior. Their advice is probably better than my advice. But typically in general, Jihad is just coming. Typically, we are trying to encourage students to take the lab and the exam at the same time. Okay. Oh, in terms of next week, no class on Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day. And then on Wednesday, I will have to meet with intelligence in DC. So I'm not joking, by the way. When I say absurd joke, that's not one of them. Okay. So no, I mean, my company, I also, in addition to being an assistant professor, I'm also a scientific co-founder of a company, and we are supported by the intelligence. That means either, and unfortunately, my presentation will be exactly the same time as the class. So I cannot even give you Zoom call. So either I will ask my TA or I will upload a recording maybe during the MLK weekend. Good? Any question? Nope. Finally, how to do well in Physics 112. And I get this question a lot in the beginning of the class. So this is important. So first, you know that you do well. I think this one can be summarized somewhere in the syllabus. You know that you do well if you can do basically most of the problems yourself. I mean, this is not anatomy. I mean, you cannot rely on your memorization, or you cannot do like pattern matching. Let's say, oh, there is John here. I remember the answer to that problem is, I don't know, 12. Then I'll try to find 12. You cannot do that in this class, because this is physics class. And the goal for this class is not to test your memory, but to test your understanding. Okay. So here are my advice first you should go to the lecture. And this is not a self-serving advice. This is not because I don't get any attention at home and I need your attention. This is because I think it's useful for you to read the material and listen to somebody explain the material and then try to solve your problems. Next, I will show you your like the rubric of the class, the grading criteria, but homework is only 15% of the class. But it doesn't represent the importance of homework in the class. It's actually probably the most important component of the class. Because by doing homework, you'll figure out whether you understand the material or not. Because if you go to class, sometimes you leave the class with the impression that you understand the material, but until you do the homework, you don't really know whether you get it. Yeah, question. Correct answer. So the question is the homework is based on effort or based on correct answer? The answer is correct answer. And homework the name is open collaboration, so you can work with your friends. But please do make sure that when you work with your friends, if you are the smart one, you should make sure that your friends understand the material. You should explain the material to your friends. And then if you are the one who is a little bit behind, you should be responsible to ask questions to your friends, your TA, your LA, to me, until you get it. The goal is not to get the perfect score. Most of your grades are your exams, not the homework. Because you can game the system. I think right now you get 6 attempts, or I don't know, 20 attempts until you get the correct answer. All right. Okay. Next is, there is one issue with talking to your neighbors. Okay, this is really important. So in this class, you cannot talk to your neighbors unless when we ask you to discuss physics, basically, because it's really distracting. And again, this is not because of my ego. It's just when I explain, sometimes I lost my train of thought when you guys talk to each other. Sometimes I just assume that you guys talk about me. If you laugh at me. It's not like that, but I just want to illustrate. I just want to say that it's that distracting. Another thing is sleeping. So when I was an undergrad a long time ago. I have 2 kids right now. My oldest one is actually in her 2nd year of college, so I'm not young. But when I was a student, I worked 20 hours a week, so I understand. Some of you probably work that hard. I understand that every hour that I spent in my workplace is an hour that I couldn't spend reading my textbook. So I understand that many of you are pre-meds. You're under a lot of pressure. That's why I teach with tight jeans. So I understand pressure. Some of you may sleep in class. Not yet, but soon it will happen. It's okay. In my class, again, don't extrapolate to other classes. Sleeping in class in my lecture is fine. Some of the best sleepers actually sit in front, and they say that they cannot sleep without hearing my lecture, so they go to class to sleep. That's okay. You can even sleep together here, like cuddle. It doesn't bug me, but if you talk to your friends, it will like I can lose focus. But having said that, it's important for you to ask questions. So you cannot talk to your neighbors, but you can always ask me questions. Stops the class with your questions. Because typically, if one person has a question, some other students also have the same questions. And I've been teaching this class, probably, this is my 5th time. So one thing that is different is your questions, really. So attend the lectures and do your homework, and you should and ask questions, okay? In terms of help, other than 3 learning assistants, we have undergrad lounge. That's how I call it. It's mentioned in the syllabus. It's basically the room behind this class, next to the class, okay? And you should take advantage of it. Sometimes there is no, most of the times there is no either one of us, but you can ask other TAs about your homework. It's a good place for you to sit together and do your homework. Okay. Any question? I'm gonna go fast because I want to do 2 things. I want to do one simulation and not simulation, one demonstration and one in-class activity today. And then I can let you go. So in terms of textbook, okay, so I send you a mass email to people who had been registered by Saturday. So if you just register on Sunday or this morning, you haven't received the email, should talk to me. So those access codes are for perusal. So let me show you what perusal is. So first, this is your website. This is the class website. Perusal is basically the way you will read textbook together again with your friends, and who knows, maybe those friends will be your friends for life, like Hamza Abdullah, friend of mine. So you go to perusal and then you read the chapter together with your friends. How many of you have used perusal? About 10% of you. So basically, you can go to YouTube, like anything else, to figure out how to use it. Basically, it's a way to annotate a textbook, and you will be graded. So if you annotate a sentence, let's say, or a word or a paragraph, and then you can write your questions, and then your friends can answer your questions. Again, the goal is not to get a perfect score. You're only required to get 80% of the perfect score to get a perfect score. So a perfect score for each assignment is 3. If you get 2.2, it's basically 100%. 100% is 2.4 and above. Okay. So don't focus on gaming the system. This is a way for you to build your reading muscle. Okay. And you will be graded based on the number of questions. So your friends may ask questions and you answer them. You respond to them, you get credit. The earlier you open the assignment, it will lead to higher grade. The more you divide your reading into different chunks, it will also improve your grades. Basically, all the good habits. And the grading criteria is based on many, many courses around the world. So I just follow the default. I didn't tweak it. Many courses across many disciplines on 5 continents use perusal. So I just use the default grading criteria. Okay. And this reading assignment is due at 9 a.m. Any question? So typically the first 2 weeks, I receive many complaints about the class, about perusal. There is another section. If you prefer a different section, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't hurt my feeling. So for perusal. For other things, you can, let's say, you think I spend too much time on the announcement, like what I'm doing right now, you can talk to me and I will listen to your feedback. Good. I'll try to go fast with the rest of the syllabus. Oh, so for the for the textbook that you purchase, all you need is mastering physics. You need mastering physics to do your homework. So mastering physics, if you click access Pearson, it will bring you to mastering physics, and then it should look something like this. So of course, my interface is different than yours. And 12 students have logged in with different access codes and have done this introduction to mastering physics homework. This is due on Sunday. Okay. On Friday, there is a short video assignment, and don't worry about the quality, the length. Short actually is better, so it's easier for us to grade. But I'm not looking for highly polished with nice background. You can record yourself on a bus. It's fine. The content is what I'm looking for. It's my way to know what you want and what work in from your previous classes. And then I'm supposed to have this session in the syllabus, so you should read the session, the page on ebook. And next is iClicker. We will do iClicker starting on Wednesday. Okay. All of you probably have used iClicker before, right? If I do iClicker today, it will not be graded. If there are many glitches on Wednesday, it might not be graded, but I plan to start using iClicker on Wednesday. And for iClicker, the 100% is 90%. So if you achieve 90% of the grades, then you will get 100% of the whole point. So if there are any glitches or you have to go to a funeral, anything, don't worry about it, because you don't have to reach 100%. Okay. Some of you asked me, or I think half of you mentioned about letters of recommendation in your videos. I think 6 people already submitted your videos. You can read the guidelines of if you want to get letters of recommendation from this class. Also for honors contract. Okay. Any questions? So the class will be recorded, but online attendance are for either for student athletes or people with valid reasons. But I plan to post the recording on Canvas. I haven't figured out how. I'm recording both my personal computer and class computer. Are we good? Okay. So are you excited? Somehow I feel like the temperature of the class is a little bit tense. So I have a reputation of being a tough instructor. If you have any concern, you should talk to me, right? I heard some students think this class is like prison. So if you are in jails and you gossip about your, what would you call it, the guards, it will not change anything, right? You should talk to the guards. If there is any problem, you should talk to me. Then I can make some adjustment. So that's all right. And then we listen to reasonable what do you call that thing? We try to make reasonable arrangement, or like if you have a valid excuse, we will accommodate that. Okay. All right. So I have a demo. I think we will only have one demo, and I may let you go early, and we will do in-class activity on Wednesday. Okay. In terms of when the class finish, sometimes I will finish early. So I have to apologize because when I let you go early, the tuition stays the same. It's not going to be cheaper. But sometimes we will finish like few minutes late, simply because physics doesn't really follow 50 minutes lecture. Right. All right. Should we do demo? You want to do demo? No? So we have, so one thing, so first I inherit the curriculum from my senior. So I'm always surprised that you guys don't learn, like all pre-meds, many of you are pre-meds, you guys skip thermodynamics, perhaps because you will take it in physical chemistry maybe, but thermodynamics is really important. Since I have time for one demo, how many of you know how many states are there? States of matter? 4. Somebody says 4. Good. Let's just do 3. We can do 4. So there is liquid, solid, and gas, right? So again, today is we will do thermo, not electromagnetism. One thermo demo, and class activity on Wednesday will be also thermo, and then we will do electromagnetism. So 3 states of material. I think a few of you said 4, which is plasma, and these states can convert into another state. So a matter can change from liquid to solid, which is the name is freezing, or solid to liquid, melting, solid to gas. What is the name for solid to gas? What is the transition between solid to gas? What? Vaporization is liquid to gas. Good guess. This is vaporization. But one thing, at least when I was your age, one thing that I didn't quite understand or couldn't grasp the meaning is sublimization. Okay, so I will, if you are lucky, I will show you sublimization. Oh my God! Oops, sorry. So I have what is this? Anyone knows? What is dry ice? Huh? What is dry ice? Ah, I see. Thank you. What is dry ice? Oh, it's right there. It's a frozen CO2. It's really cold. For pre-meds in the room, people use it to preserve biological materials. Very cold. Really cold. I think what, -70? What is the temperature? Yeah, it's around that thing. So you shouldn't touch it, right? So you shouldn't do this. But it's like hot potato. As long as you juggle it, it should be fine. And if you are brave, you will do it like this. You know, you can do it multiple times. So as long as you don't bite it, because there is temperature and there is also contact time. So if you don't bite it, you don't hold it for too long, you should be fine. So I pour, this is dry ice. So some of the CO2 right now sublimes by itself. This is why it's cold here. Okay. There is no liquid. That's why we call it dry. It skipped liquid, so it doesn't go like this, but it goes straight from solid to gas. Okay. Next is I'm gonna drink. Sorry. I'm gonna put this water. Probably most of you have done this when you were little. So what is this? What is going on here? So Smart. What is going on here? Before it sublimes, it didn't give a white something. Shouldn't use the word. What is this white thing? Gas? But gas is around us. We don't see white. We are not immersed in white something. Or let me use the word white cloud. What is this white thing? Good, paper. So paper, I think that's pretty close. So it's actually water, water droplets. So what happened is we have frozen carbon dioxide. It sublimes, so it cooled down the temperature inside the aquarium. So the temperature inside the aquarium is colder than outside. And then air has a property. The name is humidity or relative humidity, that it can hold more water at higher temperature than at lower temperature. Okay. So air here can hold more water vapor than here. So what happened is the water vapor here has to turn into droplets. So it's all water droplets. And the size of droplets is larger than the wavelength of light, which is about 500 nanometer. So it diffracts lights. Okay, so this is droplets. There is a term for it, solid or liquid in gas. What is the scientific term for this? I mean, fog is not scientific term. It's a daily term. The daily term of this is cloud or fog, right? I was in Flagstaff in the past few days, and when I was outside, when I generate cloud. It's the same thing, you know. Air at low temperature in Flagstaff cannot hold a lot of water, so all moist air from my lung, when I release that, it turns into cloud. So making cloud is really easy. Okay, there is a term for it. You guys are pre-meds. Many of you are pre-meds. You should know this. So the term is no guess. Start with A. The name is aerosol. So aerosol, you use it for drug delivery, let's say. I think for asthma spray, you consider that aerosol, like dust, pollen, and cloud are examples of aerosol. Okay. Good. Any questions? I love clouds and I love bubbles. So I have this fancy bubble. I'm a practicing Muslim, so I don't work with many people use what? Glycerin. So this one doesn't have glycerin, I heard. So let's see if this one works. So this one is a bubble machine. When I was a PhD, one of my favorite papers involved bubble. So, so I'm making bubbles here, probably a little bit too much. So I don't know if you can see this, but they float. Can you see that? The bubbles float, see, like this. Why is that? Why the bubble floats? Yeah, good. So it's also on the slides, which is, it's because the cloud, basically water droplets, is heavier than air. Bubble is basically air encapsulated in bilayers, in lipid bilayers. Okay. Because of the buoyancy, if lighter material stays afloat from more dense material. So this is why bubbles stay afloat. what time is it now? We actually, perhaps we can do another, we can do in-class activity so we can start. Is that good? Or you want me to let you go early? Or you want me to talk about bubbles? I love bubbles. So in my lab, we study bubbles we think that, well, in a way, you can view cells like bubbles. It's a material encapsulated by lipid bilayers. That's what my company also focus on. We have research on the origins of life that involve bubbles, bubbles on the oceans, bubbles as primitive organisms. So, all right, so maybe we can do in class. We have 14 minutes, so let's do in class activity. Right? Okay, so it also relates to thermodynamics. I hope you still remember about thermal expansion. Who has heard about thermal expansion? Yeah, you. What is thermal expansion? What is thermal expansion? You can explain. Why don't you? Don't worry about feedback. Yeah.
When Jesus.
Oh, sorry. You can just maybe because of my.
I'll just speak loud.
Yeah, yeah.
It's when a
Good. I like that. So, okay, so thermal expansion is when a solid, typically solid, but it's actually for all materials, solid and gas. That's the fundamental principle of, let's say, alcohol thermometer. So right now it's 2024. So we know that materials comprise atoms. So atoms actually vibrate. So let's say this is a solid, each vibrate. And the degree of vibration is basically what? The degree of vibration is basically temperature. So the higher the temperature, the more vibration that each atom produces. This is why Kelvin, there is no minus degree Kelvin, because you cannot have negative vibration. Okay. So so this is cold temperature. In high temperature, to accommodate faster or larger amplitude, the atom size is the same, by the way. Then the spacing has to be bigger. So this is why a solid expands, because the vibration is more massive. Okay. This is why when you catch a train, at least, well, this is why if you catch a train, you will hear like clickety clack sound, because there is a gap between the track. If you don't put gap like this one, I think this is in India, during hot summer, it will expand and the material will buckle. Okay. And similarly, if you park your car or you go to any parking structures, you will see this gap. This is to accommodate hot summer. Right? So basically all we need to know to do, I'm gonna change my mind again. We will do the in-class activity on Wednesday, but we will finish the lecture on thermal expansion right now. So cold temperature is on the left, hot temperature is on the right. So larger space and larger spacing correspond to hotter temperature, and cold temperature is shorter separation. Any questions? I understand that when I give lecture, it's always clear. So thank you. But any questions, really? I know that this is early in the morning, early in the semester. You guys need to ask questions. No questions? Yeah. Aerosol, good. Huh? What? Oh, perusal. Okay, perusal. Yeah. It's due before every lecture. So it's due at 9, and I read your questions, and I adjust my lecture that I will deliver every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:10. Okay. Yeah.
And will we get the enrollment code like in email?
I've sent you the code already. If you haven't received your the code, you need to email me. Let me show you the email. Most of you have received the email, so let me. So the email looks like this. It's from my Gmail account because ASU has a super secure internet system, so I have to use my Gmail account. The title is like this. The sender is Physics 112. And then this is the code. Okay. Check your spam folder and then email me if you haven't received your perusal code. Yeah. So for Pearson, you have to pay for that. Sorry, can you repeat your question? I think so, yeah. Please document. You can even screen record the way you do it, because I'm not. They always change the system, but for perusal, it's actually free. I negotiate. I had to fight for those free access. Otherwise, you pay like $100 or so. But for mastering physics, I cannot negotiate that because it's with Pearson. If there is no question, I'll see you on Wednesday.